All right, all right, all right. Hello, everybody. I'm hoping everything is coming through on YouTube okay. This is the first time streaming on here, so we're gonna give it a few minutes, let some people come in here, and hopefully things are gonna get working out. So I appreciate y'all's patience. It's probably gonna be about 2 or 3 minutes before we get into things while I double check and make sure everything's running successfully here. So I appreciate everybody being patient, and it's lovely to see you on this fine Sunday afternoon. It's going to be a lot of fun today, so give me just a moment here. Let's go ahead and get to working on this. Give me just a moment. All right. All right. All right. Appreciate everybody being patient here. Just a couple more minutes. Appreciate everybody's patience. All right, just a few more minutes of your time here. Greatly appreciate it, guys. Happy Sunday to everybody. All right. All right. I'm going to hang out some here. Just going to give it a few minutes for some people to get in, and we will get going on today's activities. Right. We'll get this going in just a moment here, guys. Like I said, just giving some time for people to get in here. Happy Sunday to you. And let's clear up some space real quick here. Oh no, that's fine. Totally fine. Gonna make some space happen real quick. All right. All right. Like I said, just another couple of moments here, and we will get to work on this lovely baby right here. This beauty. Minecraft Xbox One S. We have no display on here. Well, we don't have a no display. We have kinda display. You'll see what I mean in a little bit once we get it set up and do some testing here. But it's not great display. It's not great. So, this is what we'll be working on today. It is in fantastic shape. I have not opened it yet. I know that it's been opened because the warranty sticker is missing. But I know for a fact that it has not been opened. So, just give it another moment or two here, and that'll give me time to get some things set up. Right. And looks like stream is doing quite well. Got minimal frame loss here, so this is good. All right. So we're gonna continue on here. Just give it another couple of minutes. I appreciate everybody being so very patient. If you're watching this back in Futureland, this is the first live stream that I've done on YouTube. So this is the maiden voyage of Royce Repair and Resale, and gonna see how this streaming stuff works out. And honestly, it's just a whole lot of fun for me. So I'll probably keep doing it even if it doesn't reach. Plus, it's good for spreading awareness on console repair and repairing electronics, micro soldering, things along that. So even if it's a limited audience, I'm totally cool with that. Either way, it's fun for me, and that's the most important thing. All right, just another moment or two here. Be a great day. I'm very excited for this. Bit of maintenance and checking out of things here. Bit of maintenance and checking out of things here. Bit of maintenance and checking out of things here. Bit of maintenance. Last couple of things here, and we will go ahead and get started. Thank everybody for being so patient. All right, so probably give it about say 30 more seconds or so, give or take, maybe another minute. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna move some of this stuff over out of the way. All right. There we go. All right. So, as I stated before, we are going to be working on this beauty of a console right here. Xbox One S Special Edition Minecraft console. Now, I bought this off of eBay as a known no display issue. Now, when I bought the listing, it did mention that there was no display. What it did not mention is that there is display, but it's really bad display. So I'll show you guys what I mean. So the first step I always do in any repair situation is never trust what is sold as on eBay and do my own testing. So we're gonna go ahead and get this all hooked up. Connect the power cord. Clean some of that flux off the HDMI cord. And then HDMI cord can go right here. Boop. Alright. So, from here, scoot over a little bit and bring you guys a little closer so you can see what I see. So, first of all, let's hear that lovely tone. Actually, I'm going to switch over before we do. So, switch over real quick. And so here's that lovely tone for the Minecraft Xbox. Love that. Love it. Alright. So we get to a boot screen as soon as it decides it wants to load. And I've got glitch. I've got glitchy display. So you can see that it glitched on for just a second there, and then see it's still kind of glitchy and not wanting to display properly. Now there's a couple of things that can cause this. Number one is just a bad HDMI port not making a good connection. So that'll be the first thing I check. Secondly, and what I'm probably sure is the issue, is the HDMI encoder chip. That will usually give me these faulty, glitchy screens like this. And then the worst possible scenario, and see now I've gone to no signal. The worst possible scenario is the APU, which can cause glitching graphics and things along those lines. And if it is the APU, no mas. I got a brick here. But all will not be lost. Because if it is the APU, there's always the option of moving the speaker that's on the motherboard to a different console and putting it in this shell, and therefore saving its life. So, there's always options available to us here. And we are going to see which one we go with. So we're going to go ahead and power this down. Now the one thing I do notice is that it has not powered down yet, which is good. So that means to me that it's probably booting to a dashboard, which is good. Alright. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and power this down. It also makes a neat little power down noise. Yeah, so it's definitely booting to a dashboard, which leads me to believe it's probably not the APU. Probably. But you never know when it comes to these kind of consoles here. So we're going to do our best, and we're going to make it work with what we can do. And let's go ahead and start tearing this bad boy down. So I'm going to bring you guys in a little bit here. Alright, so my desk is once again, as always, in a state of mild disarray. And I'm looking for my pry. There's my pry tool. There we go. So now that it's fully disconnected, we're going to go ahead and or fully shut down, I should say. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the cords. All right. All right. So, first things first, we're going to take this bottom case off. And the way that we do that is I just take my pry tool here, kind of slide underneath gently. I do not want to break this case. It's too nice. Now, I know that sounds like I'm breaking it. I am not. Go. Nope. Now I've just broke a little bit of it, so that's not ideal. All right. All right. Well, I got to be a little more careful with this. So I don't know if that's just the material that this one's made out of, because I mean, that's how I always open these consoles, and I've never had a broken piece before, so I'm not sure how that one worked out, but it is what it is. It's fine. Alright, so we got that edge off. We're going to go ahead and turn it over. Go. All right. Come back around to this side. And just popping these tabs off. There we go. All right. So, got the tabs off. Check that out. Look how cool that redstone is. I love this thing. I'll tell you, man, the Xbox special editions are some of the best ones out there. They are really nice. Alright, so we're going to move this over here. And then again, they did the same thing with the bottom of the console. Check out that redstone. That's so cool. I love these designs, man. They're so great. That's why I hate to see them go into the trash, and why I enjoy repairing them so much. So we're going to go ahead and work on getting these screws out. Start the disassembly process here. Now I do have a bunch. I would normally use my work pad here to keep these screws in place, but my work pad is currently loaded up with PS5 screws because I was working on PS5. That ended up giving me more trouble than I anticipated, and I haven't put it back together yet. So just going to be real careful about not mixing screws. Not that they're anything remotely close to the same screws, but still, just to make my life easy. I am all about making life easy. There we go. There we go. And one last big frame screw. Alright. And with that, we can go ahead and pop this out of the case. Which I will do like so. And then a little boop. And we just turn it up on its end. There we go. Just like that. And I mean, this console's in fantastic condition. There's a little bit of, dust and the normal things you expect to see, but otherwise this is in fantastic shape. Other than, of course, the chunk I just took out of the lower frame. But other than that, it's fine. Alright, so I'm going to take these boards out first and then disconnect the speaker. There we go. So the boards take T8s, T8 Torx bit. Go. I'll tell you what, if it does end up being the APU, this speaker is a whole hell of a lot easier to remove than the Taco Bell one was. I did some work on a Taco Bell Xbox One X that bricked itself. Well, didn't brick itself. I made a mistake and bricked it. But I was thinking about maybe moving the speaker off the Taco Bell one into a working Xbox One X, and nope. It wasn't worth it to me. I figure I'll just sell it for parts and let somebody else deal with that problem. If they want to do it, fantastic. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the power board. Just give it a little wiggle here. Alright. Got to disconnect this little connector for the speaker. I have my pliers. I do have my pliers. Be very careful when pulling these wires out. Do not pull the connector itself. You're just going to pull a little tab that goes into the connector. There we go. Just like that. Right. And I'm running out of space again. Whoa. Alright. I'm going to take off the Wi-Fi card. Alright, to anybody just coming in, thank you for coming in and hanging out. We are in the middle of repairing a Minecraft Xbox One S that has no display. So, there we go. We're just in the middle of the disassembly process here. So the display is super glitchy. It will only work for brief periods at a time, and then it just does not work anymore, period. So, the screw is running away from me. There we go. So, we're going to try and make it live again. And there's the Wi-Fi card. Alright. Alright. Here we go. Alright, so now that that's done, I need to flip it carefully to not mess with that cable on the speaker, and then we can continue with disassembly. Switch my tip. Alright, we're going to take these component screws out. There we go. I'll tell you what, I'm not much of an Xbox player. I've always been a PlayStation guy since I was a kid. When the PlayStations first came out and then the Xboxes followed soon after, I always appreciated PlayStation more. So, I'm not a huge player of Xbox, but when it comes to repair and disassembly, I will prefer to take on an Xbox any day over a PlayStation. Between the less amount of screws and the ease of accessibility to most of the stuff. I mean, just night and day difference. I will take an Xbox any day. Just a couple more component screws, and then we'll take off the APU screws, and we will get down to the meat of the situation. Alright, so that's all of the component screws. And now we're gonna get to the APU screws, and for that, ratchet screwdriver. Ratchet screwdriver is life. These things are extraordinarily tight. There we go. And this just has a bigger driver for me to get at it. That's the only reason I like it. Alright. And APU screws. There we go. Bigger driver means less work on my hands and wrists. There we go. 2 more. And we get down to business. There we go. The wobble socket on the ratchet screwdriver can definitely be an annoyance in some time, but it is what it is. It's fine. Alright. So, that being done, we can go ahead and, actually we're going to flip this over, I think. Yeah, we're going to flip it over. That's what we're going to do. Alright. And we're going to take this top plate off, gingerly, and set that aside. And, I mean, you can kind of tell, just by looking at this, that this is in awesome shape, man. I mean, this is in really good condition. I'm very sad that I wasn't more careful with that lower piece right there. It's gonna cost me a few dollars, but I mean, yeah, it's still gonna sell, so that's fine. It is what it is. And so, I mean, yeah, just to show you guys a bit here, I mean, there's like no dust in this thing. It's in awesome shape. So hopefully that'll mean it's gonna be a nice simple repair, right? Right? No. Alright. So, go ahead and continue with disassembly. Take out the hard drive. Got loose PS5 parts all over the place. Gotta make some room. Power supply. Power supply is being extraordinarily difficult today. That's not a problem. There it is. Got it. We handle power supplies here. Alright, disk drive. I did already check if there was a game inside. There was not. Very sad. But it is what it is. Yeah, someone's definitely been in here before. It's missing this small little metal piece that goes right here to help keep the board down a bit. So somebody has definitely been in here before. Hope that's not bad news for me, but we'll see how it goes, eh? It looks like somebody might have done some work on the HDMI port. Alright, well, let's take a look and see how it goes, huh? Alright, so from here we can just pop the board right out. I'm going to remove this little screw holder thingy. Remove. Thank you. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and pop this board right out. And Bottom looks good. Yeah. Really, this thing is in awesome, awesome shape, man. Such good shape. Alright. Now, as I've stated many times, I do not have a clamp removal tool, but I do have clamp removal techniques. So, go ahead and begin clamp removal procedure. There we go. And there we go. Yeah, somebody's definitely been into this. That was way too easy. Way, way, way too easy. Oh, there's been an HDMI port put on this. Ooh, boy. Alright. Yep, I can see that now. Well, let's check the HDMI port. I have a feeling that's at least part of our problem, because it is not looking great just from what I can see. Alright. This is being difficult. Why are you being difficult? Don't do this to me. There we go. Oh boy. No bueno. Alright. Let's see. Go ahead and lift this up. Alright. Well, whoever had it last did replace the thermal paste, which is very nice of them. But I don't know how much that's going to help me here. So, I'm going to put new on anyway. So, not a big deal. Let's go ahead and move this fan. And let's go ahead and bring you guys over to DOS microscope. Alright, I'm going to bring you guys in here so you can get kind of an idea of where I'm working on. And let's switch over to microscope cam. And we're going to bring that down right into the HDMI port. Right. So, let's see here. Alright, so I'm guessing the person who did this HDMI replacement probably hasn't done one or was practicing. That would be my guess. Right, just doing a little bit of recognizance there. Alright, so I can already tell just by looking at this that those pin legs are not on correctly. I would be surprised if any of them are making a contact, to be completely honest. The fact that this even had some kind of a signal is bananas to me right now. I mean, I'm in legitimate shock that this has any kind of signal at all. Alright. Well. Alright. I mean, honestly, the main legs don't look too bad. I'm trying not to be super judgmental because, look, I started out very poorly doing HDMI ports as well, so I get it. I really hope that's the only issue with this, because that's an easy fix. I mean, the port itself looked like it was fine. I didn't check the actual inside of the port. There might be flux in there or something. But, I mean, I can tell 100% that these legs right here are not soldered. They're definitely not. I don't know how many of them. I'm probably just going to go back and go through them all. I might even put just a new port on it to save myself the trouble. Let's take a look. Let's see. Alright, so I'm going to come in here. Actually, before we do that, let's look at the actual inside of the port. I did check it just visually, but I didn't really get an in-depth look on it, so let's see. Yeah, I mean, the port itself looks fine. Yeah, I don't see any bent pins, anything along those lines. Everything looks good. Alright, maybe we can reuse this port. Let's take a look. Alright, so that is the HDMI port in question. Let's check these legs and see if they are as bad as I think they are. I mean, they actually seem to be soldered okay. They're not moving when I push on them. Yeah, I mean, they seem to be actually soldered on okay, but they're just really rough, man. There's a lot of flux still in there. Let me go ahead and clean that up real quick and just kind of try and dig some of that flux out. I'm probably going to put a new port on there anyway, just to get it done. But I mean, realistically speaking, those are on there. They're not. They didn't move when I tried to push them off. So I'm probably just gonna throw a new port on there and see if that fixes the problem, because I have a feeling that's probably at least some of the issue. Let me look for bridges. Maybe that's part of the problem. I don't see any bridges either. I mean, honestly, I'm super shocked that some of these are... Oh, wait a minute. Do I have trace damage? Hang on. See how it's got some of that copper exposed right there? I mean, the trace itself isn't moving, but I'm really concerned that there's a lot of copper showing there. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'll show you what I was talking about, how I knew somebody was in here on this HDMI port. So let me kind of back up a little bit here. Focus in. Alright, so when I was taking off the back of it, I found that. And that is not good. Let me kind of kill some of this glare a little bit. You can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, that is not good. So I'm not sure. I'm just not sure, man. I'm just not sure at all. I'm gonna start by replacing the port. I mean, it could be something as simple as that. I'll replace the port first. If that doesn't fix it, then I'll replace the HDMI chip and see if that's the problem. Now this is gonna be an interesting one for sure. So let's see here. Alright. Yeah, let's go ahead and start by getting this HDMI port out. Alright. I'm gonna go grab an HDMI port real quick. myself just a tiny bit smaller here. I'm also using my streaming service as my microscope. Alright, so yeah, I mean, you can see the ground legs are in really rough shape. Alright, well, let's get the tools turned on here. Let me go grab an HDMI port real quick. Alright, HDMI port is here. Alright, let's take this tip off of the hot air gun for the time being, because I'm not going to need it just yet. There we go. Alright. Alright. So, we're going to go ahead and throw some flux. On the 19 pins and the ground legs. Grab one of my curved tweezers. And we're going to come in here, move this slightly more off the board. Just adjust that for you guys, or off my desk, I should say. I'm going to let this gun get hot. I'm going to take this port off and replace it. So I've got my hot air gun set to 480 degrees at full airflow. I'll have to pull this board slightly more off. Go ahead and adjust for you guys again. There we go. Up a little further. Alright, we're going to come in with hot air under the board. You'll see that flux is going to melt down. And that should help the solder underneath to liquefy pretty quickly. That actually went very quickly. I wonder if they use low melt solder to solder with. Don't do that. Use leaded. Low melt solder is not meant to use for soldering. It's meant to use for desoldering. Alright, ports out. Come in with my solder sucker and clean those ground holes out. Go. Alright, other side. Stuck on the edge there. Alright. Alright. So the ground holes are clear. Alright. So we got the ground holes cleared out. And I'm going to let the board cool down a little bit. We're going to give it a quick clean. So a little isopropyl alcohol. Come in with a Q-tip. Just clean up that area that the flux was in. I do use Amtech Flux, so it is no clean, but I like working with a clean surface, so that's what we's gonna do. Alright, next step, we're gonna come in and put a little extra flux down. Now I don't know if they used, you know what, let me tin those pads real quick just to be 100% sure. I don't know if they used low melt solder or leaded solder on those ground leg or on the pin legs, so just to be safe, I am gonna tin those pads up. Throwing out a little bit more flux here. Got some hair on my flux needle. Alright. Take a little dab of some leaded solder. Come in here and just kind of tidy those legs up some. It's fine if they're bridged for right now. I'm going to be wicking it away anyway. But again, I don't know what they put on here, so rather than risking it, I'll just do it myself. There we go. Alright. I'll do it for now. And just a tiny bit more flux. Flux is your friend. Don't be afraid to use it. Come in here with some solder wick. Now I am using an extraordinarily small tip for this. Keep the jokes to yourself. But I've grown accustomed to it. It's probably not the easiest way to go about this repair, so just bear that in mind. I would probably recommend using a larger tip. Yeah, because see, that can happen right there. That's fine. Just go in there and finish cleaning up these ground legs real quick. Or not ground legs, but the pads. Alright, that'll do. Now I got fresh clean pads, which means I can put fresh clean solder on. Alright. So, let's go ahead and I've still got flux on there. Yeah, let me clean it. I'm going to go ahead and clean the flux that I have on there off. I'm going to reapply more, but I just like working with clean surfaces, and I don't want to burn the flux or anything. So, there we go. Let's put some isopropyl alcohol on there. For those of you that don't know, if you are going to be doing this, you need to use minimum 91% IPA. 99% is ideal, because IPA is not conductive. Don't use water to clean your consoles, please. It will be a bad time, and then you have to send them to someone like me. Alright, there we go. We're going to put a little more flux down. And another dab of leaded solder. Go. It's fine. Don't worry about the extra blobs on here. It's totally fine. We're going to fix it all up in just a minute here. Alright. This is the downside of using a smaller tip for this job, because it does group up and kind of ball like that. It doesn't have enough of the surface area to really spread it out the way it does. But I've been working with so many small components lately in small areas that this is just the tip that I've had on. Go. Swipe down a bit. Go. Clean off the iron. And there we go. All right. All right. So we've got that in there. I'm not 100% sure the port needed to be changed, but the fact that it hadn't been soldered properly makes me uneasy, so I'm going to change it regardless. Alright. And who knows, maybe we'll get off. That was the only problem. It just was a bad port, and yeah, then we're good to go. It's a beautiful day. Alright, so I'm pulling out my other port now. I've got my replacement. Alright. Put a little more flux down to help this solder flow. Alright. And we're going to let the gun get hot. Alright, just waiting for it to come to temperature here. By the way, if there's any audio or anything along those lines, please let me know ahead of time, because I'm in the middle of, my attention is fully focused on this. I will not notice anything on like OBS or anything like that, so if you do hear anything or any problems, please let me know. Alright, so we're going to come in once again underneath. We're going to let that get nice and hot until that solder liquefies. It's starting to right now. Just waiting for all of it to go. There we go. It's all gone. All right. Okay, there we go. Come back in with the heat. I'm just going to press down on the legs. All right. Hold it there for just a moment. All right. And there we go. New port is in. Everything looks pretty well lined up. We'll give it the nudge test in just a second here. Just going to let the board cool down some. Alright. See, board is extraordinarily hot right now, so we're going to give it a few minutes to cool off. Alright. Alright, perfect. So that should be cool enough now for me to, well, yeah, I want to give it a nudge test before I clean it because the bristles on the toothbrush can move those legs. So let's go ahead and move back here. So if it's not properly soldered, we will know in just a moment here. Let's get some brightness going. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and do a nudge test on these legs. Yeah, see, already those legs look a lot better. Just because there's not as much pad showing here and everything's lined up the way it's supposed to be. Okay, so that didn't go. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like these didn't stick at all. Which is fine, we'll just come in and touch them up. Not a big deal. Did these ones over here stick? Nah, no, nothing stuck. Alright, not a big deal. It happens like that sometimes. Alright, so we're going to come in and start individually touching these up. go. Right. I'm just going to do a test on the ones that I've soldered so far. So all of those so far are good. All right. So we move on, keep on soldering. Alright, the last couple here. All right, so let's go ahead and run through another nudge test real quick. My fingers are burning a bit. I'm holding that soldering iron. Alright, we're all good now. Alright, so those are all properly soldered now. Let's go ahead and give it a clean. There we go. Grab Q-tip. Alright, so now that the legs are all properly soldered, I'm going to flip it around over here. You guys will get here in just a moment. There we go. Alright, so first things first, I am going to clean this area up a bit. Go slightly. Alright, there we go. Let's go ahead and get some IPA on here. And a fresh Q-tip, cotton swab, cotton bud, whatever the case is. Some leftover burnt flux from the last person here. This is not my flux. Let me try and get a little bit of toothbrush action going on. You know what? It's fine. I'm going to be using hot air to finish the ground legs anyway, so not a big deal. Alright. so go ahead and get this in there. A little bit of flux, so that'll help the solder flow into the ground legs. Now again, I am using a tip that is too small for this, so just bear that in mind. You will want to use a much larger tip for this. I only have one iron and it's very difficult to change the tip on it, so I've learned to adapt, but don't do what I do, do what I say. So I'm going to go ahead and come in here. Just start getting some solder into these ground holes here. I do want to have a nice big blob of it, because when I'm done here, I'm going to use the hot air to come through and finish the ground legs. There we go. That's fine for now. More solder. Come in on the second one. There we go. There we go. Perfect. I mean, not perfect yet, but it will be. And again, more solder. Get those ground holes nice and covered. When you're using the proper tip, it will just flow its way into the other side of the board here, so you don't normally have to worry about this. Just understand I am using the wrong tip for this job. I should be using a much larger tip for more surface area, which will allow the solder to flow better. I will still catch heat in the comments regardless, I understand, but I'm making it known here. I realize I'm not doing it correctly. Well, I'm not using the right tools anyway. Alright, so I'm just going to let that sit for a second. Get as much solder on there as we can. Alright, that'll do for now. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to put more flux down. And we're going to heat up our hot air gun. Go. I'm going to let the hot air gun get hot. And again, I'm keeping it at 480 at maximum airflow. That is 480 degrees Celsius, by the way. This is not Fahrenheit. Alright, we're just going to come in, heat up the area in gentle circles, and you'll see the solder, once it gets to the melting temperature, will turn into little balls and will work its way through to the other side of the board. And I'll show you that when we get there. Just going to heat it up here. There we go. So again, you see how they're turning into little shiny balls. That's them working their way through to the other side of the board. There we go. I don't want to have too much heat on here for too long. Alright, that'll do. Alright, that's good. While this board's still warm, I do want to clean off some of the extra flux that was left over from the person who had this before me. That already looks so much better than when I got it. Nice thorough scrubbing. Go. Okay, so that looks a million times better than it did when I got it. Alright, we're going to let the board cool down another minute or two here. That is very hot. And I'm going to hope that's all I have to do, because if that's the case, that's tremendous. It was just a poorly installed HDMI port, and there we go. We're good. Alright, cool enough to touch. Cool enough for now. All right. So I'm gonna back up here. All right. I'm just gonna check the legs here because I did apply hot air. So I do want to make sure that the hot air I applied didn't mess up the soldering I did on the legs. Come in here with tweezers again, and you'll also see, let me kill the brightness here, you'll see that the solder did flow from the back side of the board all the way to the front. You got solder, those are perfectly soldered ground plates. Alright, just another quick nudge test here. Right. Okay, good. Alright, so the legs are still intact. And give it one last little dab of IPA here. Just give it a good scrub down. Checking for any missing components while I'm scrubbing, but I don't see anything. Nothing that would cause me alarm. Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and get it put back together enough to test. Not going to put it all the way back together because I don't think I'm done yet, but who knows? Maybe it was an easy fix and we'll flip that baby right around. Go ahead and get reassembly going here. Move you guys over so you can get a better view on reassembly. All right. Let's move this for now. Let's get the X-clamp put back on. There we go. Like so. Alright. Bring it back up. Something's not sitting right in here. Plug this fan back in, number one. Okay. Well, not sitting down properly, but we'll fix that in a minute. Again, this is just a test. I'm not confident it's going to work. Alright. So here we go. Just plugging all the cables and such in for the moment. I'm not going to fully reattach, fully put back into place anyway, the power supply just yet. Go. Keep that hanging off to the side for the moment. And the hard drive. Alright, go. Alright, just enough to test. Let's bring you guys up. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and see if it was just the HDMI port that hadn't been done properly, or if we've got further issues. So let's take a look here. go. And go into our newly connected HDMI port. All right, let's go ahead and swap over real quick. Move you guys over to get a better view. Oh, I need a power board. That would help. Power board. Okay, all right, swap over. Am I missing something? Does that speaker have to be connected? That's kind of silly if it does. I don't think it should. Well, maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't have full power. Hang on. I don't feel like it should have to be connected in order to have that power, but let's take a look. Maybe I'm wrong. I could very well be wrong. There we go. Alright, well, I just had fan spin for a second. Right. Ooh, interesting. Huh. I now have full fan spin. So the power supply wasn't connected properly? What the hell? What's going on with this damn thing? Alright, hang on. Oh, yeah, it is a rough power supply. I didn't see this before. Oh, the power supply is a little janked up. Huh, interesting. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to be super cautious about this. There we go. That's not great. Okay. Alright, well, janky power supply is not ideal. Okay, yeah, I don't think this board has to be plugged into the speaker to work. I think that power supply is janky. Okay, alright, so let's go ahead and plug the power board back in. I am super worried about this this power supply. I might have to try and put a new one in it. get this hard drive out of the way here. Definitely super jank. Even just trying to get it back into place now, there's something off about it. It's in, but it's not in the best. So that's, it should be good enough to test at the very least. Alright, let's see. Alright, so there's a small fan spin. We got full fan spin. And still nothing. Let me try cleaning my HDMI port real quick because it often gets covered in flux. So, oh, and it just shut down. Very interesting. Alright, yeah, this power supply is going to have to get replaced. I'm putting pressure on the power supply right now just to keep it in place. Now I don't know if it's the HDMI port or the power supply that's causing the issue. Oh, there we go. Well, we had something. Is it going to load up? Yeah, this could be a power supply issue. That would be the first I've seen of it as far as a power supply with this type of issue causing no display, but I mean, it's possible. Let's go ahead and replace the power supply. I do have another Xbox One S that I was going to work on next week, but I mean, I can just borrow the power supply out of it and it's not going to hurt anything. Yeah, see, that's going to a dashboard because it's shutting down. So, all right. Yeah, that was a clear picture as well. There was no scuffing or glitchiness or anything like that on the screen. So that for sure was a problem. I think that power supply needs to go. I think that's a bad power supply. Bad power supply. Bad. Alright. Let's go ahead and take that power supply out. And let's replace it with a different power supply. I did test the other power supply and I know it is good because the console turned on. It's just that console has no hard drive and a bad HDMI port. So, oh, that power supply is probably just going to be sold as defective. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that thing working, and I don't work on power supplies. Alright, so let's go ahead and disassemble this Xbox real fast just to get to the power supply. That's unfortunate. Now, this one also has never been opened. Let's go ahead and take that warranty sticker right off, eh? Now, that's not the way I wanted this to start, but that HDMI port needed replacing anyway, just based on the work of the previous person who worked on it. So it had to be done, and I'm happy it was done. But a jank power supply was not in the cards. Warranty stickers off. This warranty sticker is giving me a pain in the jogus. There we go. There we go. Alright. Now I gotta take this whole thing apart just to get to the power supply. You know what? If it fixes the Minecraft one, that's fine. I'll buy a power supply elsewhere. The Minecraft is my biggest concern. So let's go ahead and take this thing apart. Appreciate you guys being patient while I fish out this this replacement power supply here. Got to get rid of the jank. Well, that's definitely progress because the quick second of display we did have was not glitchy. So that's definitely progress because when we first turned it on, that thing was glitchy as all hell. So I have a feeling, I mean, a power supply causing that issue is super weird, man. And this is also the first bad one I've dealt with on a 1S. I'm sure there's plenty of problems with them out there. I just haven't personally dealt with one. There we go. Alright. There we go. Alright. What the fuck? Oh, they put the screws in here. Okay. That's fine. Alright. This one's a whole lot dirtier than the last one, but I don't expect much else. Alright, I think I only need to take out 2 screws to get the power supply out, so. Oh boy. This became a whole lot more interesting, didn't it? Here. So you guys can see what I'm doing here. Ain't much. Ain't much. Ugh. Alright. I think that should be all I need to get out the power supply. Oh no, it rests on top of the hard drive. Gonna take the hard drive ones out too. Oh, the pain in the butt. Alright. Yeah, like I said, this Xbox I was gonna work on next week because there is no, it's a bad HDMI port and there's no hard drive. So I bought it that way. I knew it was gonna be a problem. Oh boy. Alright, well, that's fine. I need the hard drive caddy out so I can get to the power supply. This power supply is dirty. It seems to be at least reasonable functionality. No, this one's got a weird shift to it too. What the hell? Where's my pry tool? Oh, damn it. Ah, why are these now causing me problems? There we go. Alright, give this a little bit of a dust off. They're all just like this and I haven't noticed it before, but it seems super loose, which is not ideal. Alright, so swap in this power supply. Alright, so we got the power supply back in. Well, the new power supply in. So the reason I swapped the power supply is because sometimes I would have it plugged in and it would give me like a half a fan spin and then it wouldn't do anything else. And then sometimes it wouldn't fan spin at all. So normally when you plug this in, just to give you guys an idea, bring it down here. In case you're not aware, when you plug these in, you should see that slight little fan spin right there. So now we come in. Now I've got no power again. What in the world is going on here? All right. Out of this completely. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Okay, so with it out of the caddy, I got immediate fan spin, and now it's pretending like it's booting up. I don't understand what's going on here. Hang on. Power that down completely. Okay. Give it a few seconds to calm down. All right. Okay, so plug it in. Small fan boot. White light. Wiggle the HDMI cord out. Yeah, see, now it just shut down. Something's up with the power rail, I think. Yeah, because see, now it's... I don't understand. I don't understand what's causing this issue. There's got to be a short somewhere on the... maybe the power rail or something. So strange. I've never seen this before. Do I maybe have a bent pin on the actual power connector? Doesn't look like it. Let me grab my multimeter real quick and just check to see if I have a short coming through. I don't think I do, but this is super weird. That lends me to believe that that power supply I have is actually good. so if I put my black probe on ground, oh, I don't have it in continuity mode. Alright, so ground. Just using the casing for ground. Alright. So these are ground. Yeah, there's no short. Just checking some of the caps around the voltage regulator and see if maybe there's like a temporary short or something, but I don't see anything. This is so damn weird. You know what? I wonder if it's the power connector itself, because I'm comparing it to this other one, and it looks like the pins are looks like the pins are higher up. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't have a flashlight out here, but it almost looks like the pins are pushed down. Oh no, the connector. Oh, I see what happened. Okay, hang on. Okay. The connector, I must have pulled too hard on the connector, and the connector itself pushed up. Okay. Alright. Well, that's at least something I'm pretty sure I can fix. Let me just kind of... Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Okay, hold on. There we go. Damn. Alright, hang on. I don't know if it was like that when I got there, or... because honestly, I didn't check it. Yeah, it's still glitching out. Alright, so the retimer probably does need to be changed. Yeah, that's my guess, is the retimer's got to go. Damn. Try disconnect and reconnect on the HDMI real quick. disconnect this again. I'm gonna let it go to no signal. Yeah, at least now the power is staying on. That's something. Yeah, go to no signal. Oh, that's messed up. Well, I'm glad it's not the power supply. At least I can keep the power supply for the other console. Yeah, see, it's detecting the HDMI, but it's not sending a signal. So, I guess let me try a new hard drive first. I do have extra hard drives. It could be a hard drive issue, I suppose. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and no, because it's going to a dashboard. If it wouldn't be the hard drive, it was going to the dashboard. Okay. And I know it's going to the dashboard because it's shutting down. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and do the retimer. Let's see if that does it. And while I've got the board apart, I can take a look at the power connector. Yeah, see, even that one was a little worse for wear. God damn it. Alright. Alright. Well. Let's go ahead and change the retimer chip. Well, this turned into an experience now, didn't it? Alright. Alright. This has turned into an interesting experiment. Oh, where to put my screwdriver? It's all in disarray. Alright. Okay, go. The board's not bent. I was worried maybe the board was bent. It's hard to tell if the chip has already been replaced or not. Let's get it back under the microscope and take a look. Alright, so we're going under the microscope. I'm going to check out the retimer chip area, see if it's been replaced prior. That is an OEM chip for sure. Let's go ahead and get a little closer in here. Just because it's an OEM design or OEM part number, it doesn't mean that it was not changed. Alright, hang on a second here. So it is in the proper orientation, so if it was changed, it was at least done correctly. Let me check the components on this side. See if I'm missing any components or anything on this other board I have here. So if I'm looking at it this way, those components are there. Let's scroll down a bit here. Make sure I'm not missing any components on the HDMI line here. It doesn't look like I am though. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and do some testing real quick before I just replace it off the bat here. Grab the multimeter. So let's make sure we have readings from filters. My lines are all tangled up. Alright, so we check the filters. Am I not in continuity mode? I'm not. There we go. Alright, so in continuity. It's good. It's good. Edge this down slightly. There we go. Yeah. Good. Alright, they're all talking to who they're supposed to be talking to. Let's make sure I got no crosstalk. No crosstalk. Okay, so the filters are fine. Let's check the pathing from the chip to the filters. It's all checking out fine. Alright, let's take a look at this power connector real quick while it's on my mind. Yeah, so it's hard to tell right here, but I lift it up some. You can see It's been pushed up. Yeah, that's no bueno. Alright, I'm going to try and push it back down. I want to do so without damaging anything. So I'm going to come in with a pair of needle nose pliers and just kind of put some light pressure. There we go. Alright. So since I've already come this far, I am going to go ahead and change the redriver. I don't know, man. What if it was just that janky power supply? I don't think that would cause the issue, but what if it was, man? What if it was just a janked up power supply? Or not power supply, but power connector. I'm about to do this again. Alright, I'm not going to put it fully back together, or even remotely close. But I gotta know. I gotta know before I go through all this trouble again. Again, oh no, yeah, the disk drive is paired, so I'm assuming it has to be connected. Alright, like I said, I'm not putting this thing anywhere near all the way back together. But I have to know if it was just that damn power connector. Now, like I said, the HDMI needed to be changed regardless, so I'm fine if that's the case, you know what I mean? But also, like, I'm gonna be severely disappointed if it was not disappointed. I'll be elated, really. But if it was just a power connector that wasn't given enough power to give a good signal, or whatever the case was, I'm gonna be a little upset. Alright. Power board. Why is this thing turning on like it's on? Kill that. Alright. Okay. And now I'm not getting any display on the screen at all. Yeah. Yeah, so it still shows that it's receiving signal according to my HDMI cord, but I got nothing on the screen. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and do the retimer. Shut it down real quick. Alright, so I did get the power connector back on the board to where it's supposed to be. Ow. Damn, multimeter leads are sharp. Alright. Worth a try just to be sure that wasn't the case. Go. Okay. Retimer time it is. Alright. Let's break the board back down here. Alright. I can also put the original power supply back in now that I've found that problem. Alright. Retimer time. Here we go. There is the redriver. That is the 75 DP159. I will be replacing it with the updated version, the TDP 158, something like that, I believe it's called. And so that's what I'll be doing with these. Oh boy. One thing after another with these consoles. Alright, let me grab my replacement chip real quick. Just gonna keep that on the side for now. This is the last one of these that I have, so hopefully everything goes well. Alright. So, going to be the same thing like we did with the port. 480 degrees, full airflow, and I'm pointing the nozzle away from the RAM chips, which are literally right here. So, I want to avoid getting as much heat on the RAM as possible. So we are at full steam. Warm the board up a little bit. Come right down on the chip. Yep, chip comes off, heat comes off. Ah. Alright, let the board cool down just slightly here. Come over to this chip. flux down on the chip. Spread it around with the needle. Alright, what I'm going to be doing is tinning this chip. Hold it in place, get just a dab of leaded solder. Let's pre-tin these pads with solder. Go. Okay. And one final time. And just a little bloop in the middle there. There we go, that's fine. Alright. Clean off the iron. And we're going to take the chip. Shout out Multimeter. Shout out to Phil, aka the coder. Love his stuff. Taught me a lot about the stuff that I'm working on nowadays. There we go. And let's go ahead and clean off this chip a bit, so I can see what I'm looking at. There's my alcohol. Rubbing alcohol only. Don't drink. It's bad for you. Alright. There we go.
What's up, brother Mike?
What's up, kiddo? Alright.
What you working on? The Minecraft? Oh, no, that question.
No, it's a Minecraft.
What's that off?
I had to take the other one apart to get a part off of it I thought I needed that I didn't end up needing.
Great.
It's fine. No one's gonna blow up or anything.
So it's blown up? What?
Blowing up.
Take all your Dr. Peppers.
Okay, that's fine.
I love you. Wait.
Alright.
It's better when we fix it.
Just trying to get a view on the chip here.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I want juice one. I'm waiting to get juice. Hey, Robert,
See,
look at my stitch compared to mommy's.
Give me a second.
This is mommy's. Hey, Robert. I'm trying to show. Oh, you did not. This is mommy's stitch, and this is mine.
It's a little blue.
Yeah.
Alright.
He's sad.
I got an alignment. Go. Almost kind of. Alright, that'll do for now. We'll fix it as we go. Alright. Let the iron get hot. I am going to turn on my flow because it is not soldered. Alright. So it should kind of lend itself into place. heat over here as well. Alright, so now that that's relatively in place, let it sit for a second. I'm going to come down, push down directly onto the chip. Okay, touch up those edges in just a moment here. Alright, just from that one section right there, it does look like I'm going to need to move this chip over. So let's take a closer look at that, shall we? Ooh, hot HDMI port. Hey, get out of here. Dangerous. Dangerous for keys. So let's take a look. Oh no, those are lined up. Okay. Yeah, that's lined up. Alright. Alright, there we go. Yep, those are all lined up. I'm going to touch these pins up anyway, so no need to fret about that. Yep, like I said, I'm going to touch those up, so not a huge deal. Yeah, alright, looks like everything's in spot. So let's go ahead and touch up the legs, the pads. Apply a little bit of flux. Last side over here. Turn the board slightly so I'm not bending at weird angles. Okay. Alright, so that chip looks good. Let's go ahead and give it a scrub down. Alright. Another quick spritz. Come in with a Q-tip. Alright, and a little bit of hot air to dry that all off. Alright, chips in place. I will go ahead and reassemble further this time. And let's see if that was the last thing that needed doing. Because otherwise, I'm going to be at a loss on this. A bit of schmutz on the board over here by the power rail. Just want to clean that up real quick. Alright. Schmutz is handled. Okay. Alright. X-clamp. Where is the X-clamp? Where the hell did I put the X-clamp? Alright. Oh, there it is, way back there. Losing my mind. This board's getting the best of me. Okay, there we go. Clamp is on. Alright. Let's bring you guys back in here. In its proper place. This way, if it is together, then I can just get this right back into place. Now, I'm going to go back to using that other power supply. Okay. Hard drive. All right. Okay. Okay, we got power in, or we got power board in, I should say. And let's go ahead and switch over real quick. All right. Oh, oh, thank God. I was going to lose my mind if that did not fix it. Okay. Redriver chip fixed the problem. Woo! Well, I mean, like I said, the HDMI port needed doing anyway. It wasn't done properly, so that's fine. Let's make sure this actually boots. Alright, nope. I got people's information on here, so no bueno. It worked. We got it. Whew. Alright, fantastic. Let's just check a few things real quick here. No disc inside. Let's make sure it reads a disc. Let's also plug in the Wi-Fi card. Grab my controller for testing purposes. Oh, this one almost got the best of me, y'all. I was starting to stress out a little bit there. I should have known it was the driver chip from the get-go, but then the power supply thing kind of messed with me a bit. Alright, it definitely takes the controller right away. Let's go to settings. Alright, so we're going to just test, make sure it connects to Wi-Fi. Alright, you guys don't need to see the Wi-Fi password. Alright. Oh, I might have typed the password wrong. Alright, so it did end up connecting. So I am now, is it going to give me the update? Yep, there we go, update time. Just skip and stay offline for the moment. Connected. Let's test the disk drive real quick. Alright, we're going to use Dishonored 2 Classic. Alright. Takes the disk beautifully. disk, and it goes to installing. Let me just make sure it actually tries to install it. Alright, just make sure it gets to some kind of percentage. Any kind of percentage. Okay, there we go. Yes, now we have movement. Okay. Alright, so cancel that. Check the disk. Comes out beautifully. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, that is a now fully functional Minecraft Xbox One S. That's beautiful. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and shut it down. Alright, this has been an interesting one, huh? There we go. Alright, now that thermal paste was super fresh, so I am not going to reapply new thermal paste. It is honestly in fine shape and doesn't really need it. So I'm not going to do extra work that's not really necessary. Take off the Wi-Fi card. There we go. Alright, but she lives. She is awake and she lives. Alright, let's go ahead and start piecing this back together. This, disconnect that. We got. Gently turn this over and get the component screws installed. Alright, I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out while we got this whole thing situated. This was an adventure. Go. This was an adventure, to say the least. Like I mentioned, that was my last redriver chip. I do have more coming in probably in the next like 4 or 5 days. I just ordered a new set, so I'll have a bunch more. Which means if that other Xbox that I pulled the power supply from needs one, I will have one. hopefully by next week. If not, I have a PS5 that I will do some work on instead. Although that PS5 also needs an HDMI port, which is in the same shipment as the chips are. So I'll be waiting for it one way or another. But we'll make some stuff happen. At the very least, I know that the other Xbox needs a hard drive, which means I need to have one that has a partition on it, so I can at least do an instructional video on how to do the partition for the when you're doing an Xbox drive installation. Am I missing a screw? I know I'm missing a screw, but where am I missing? Okay, there we go. I got it. Alright. Alright. Alright, now obviously I am going to factory reset this and everything like that before I sell it, so everything will be wiped off of this by the time it's all said and done. Alright. Need my ratchet screwdriver. Oh, let's do it the right way, huh? Go. Number 2. Right. Wi-Fi board. Last part of this reassembly here. Thank you guys for being so patient. We're going to end it on a positive note as soon as I get everything put back together. We're going to end it with that lovely Minecraft chime. Thanks again for everybody who came and hung out, dropping a like on the video. It means a lot to me, especially this being my first one. I was doing a lot of live streaming on Facebook, but I figured I watch enough YouTube as it is, so, you know, why not throw my own contributions in there? Alright, so first things first, connect the chime into the power board, and then we move the power board into position. Alright. And we're gonna reinstall. You have to be super careful when doing this part of the reinstallation because I have broken the power board on these a couple of times. And they are easily breakable and not easy to replace an entire power board, especially one for a Minecraft Xbox that has special chips that make it do the Minecraft chime thingy. So, yeah, gotta be careful with that. Alright, that appears to have gone smoothly. And now for the frame screws. You know what? Ratchet screwdriver for the frame screws. Ratchet screwdriver is the screwdriver. Oh yeah. Alright, there we go. Just tighten the last of these frame screws down. Well, not the last of them. I think there's 6 of them in total. There we go. Right. There we go. Alright, and the last one. Alright. And then bottom case. Okay. Go. All right, fully reassembled. Let's give her a good final test, shall we? Now I'm gonna do the rest of the updating and all of that off screen, or off stream, I should say. But yeah, either way. All right. So let's go ahead and get the power plugged in. And HDMI port. Alright, let's switch over. And let's get that beautiful Minecraft sound. You ready? End it on a positive note here. Let's get you real close in so you can hear it. Oh yeah, that's nice. And taking its sweet time to boot up here. Okay, there we go. All right. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get it all updated and get it updated, factory reset, and getting ready for sale. So this will be available on my Facebook Marketplace as well as my eBay store, and I will put links to that in the description as well. If you have questions or are interested in any of the consoles that I start fixing on here, please send me a message. I'll be more than happy to get back with you as quickly as possible. Thank you guys for coming and checking out the first live stream. There will be many, many more of them. I'm super excited to keep this going. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm genuinely really excited about it. So thank you again for coming and checking out the page and the stream. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all of that. Hit the notifications. Make sure that you guys are notified every time I go live or post a new video of some repairs, because I will be doing it quite often. This is not my full-time job. I have a regular 9-to-5. This is just something I do on the side to make some extra money. But it's still a lot of fun for me, and I like entertaining you guys and showing what can go wrong in a lot of cases. So with that, I love you all dearly. Happy Sunday to you. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will talk to you. Well, actually, is there anything else I want to... I know I just fucked up the outro. Okay, it's fine. No, that's pretty much it. So again, I love you guys. Happy Sunday. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications. Means a lot to me. Love you all dearly. Blessed be. Have a good Sunday.